Yes, I accept. Trump's big, beautiful spending bill, from tax cuts to mass deportations. Wow. That does sound like it's big and beautiful. And he just looks weird, by the way. The obvious is very amusing if you don't live in the US. Otherwise, it's like a constant migraine. I mean, you can sort of laugh through the pain. Also, US politics affect the entire world, so you don't have to live in the US to be affected by US politics. Unlike Polish politics, that if you don't live in Poland, you don't have to care, but whatever happens in the US, you sort of kind of very much have to care, even if you don't live in the US. Oh, true. It's just not a constant migraine if you're not there. I guess true. Unless you're in Ukraine, then it's pretty much a constant migraine, what's happening in the US. We have to laugh through the pain since none of us will be able to afford insurance soon. Oh God. The Republican-controlled House of Representatives on Thursday passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, okay? We are starting with establishing what this thing even is, okay? I'm like, Vosh, I'm investigating what this thing even is. Which would enact Donald Trump's taxation and spending priorities. The legislation will now be considered in the Senate, where the Republican majority will probably make its own changes. The US has a way of making our problems into everyone's problems, true. Here's what the version of the bill passed by the House would do. Alright, okay, see, this is good, this is good. This is an article that breaks down what the bill is, what the bill does for all of us little silly dummies. Especially for me. Extend tax cuts enacted during Trump's first term. Oh God, oh gosh. Weren't those tax cuts mainly for the rich? But then again, which we're gonna get into soon, Elon Musk criticized the fat bill. So what's up? I don't get it. Why did Elon Musk criticize the big fat bill if it's cuts for rich people like him? After taking office in 2017, Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which lowered taxes and increased the standard deduction for all taxpayers, and generally benefited high earners more than most. Those provisions are set to expire after this year, but the big beautiful bill makes them permanent. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Great. While increasing the standard deduction by $1,000 for individuals, $1,500 for heads of households, and $2,000 for married couples, albeit only through 2028. I love trickle-down economics. Yeah, me too. Of course. I also love democracy. An array of new tax write-offs, but only while Trump is president. What? The bill creates many new tax exemptions, several of which stem from promises Trump made while campaigning last year. Taxpayers will be able to write off income from tips and overtime, and interest made on loans for cars assembled in the United States. Wow. People aged 65 and over are eligible for an additional deduction of $4,000 provided their adjusted gross income does not exceed $75,000 for single fillers or $150,000 for married couples. But all of these incentives expire at the end of 2028, right before Trump's term as president ends, so that he can be chosen for the third time, of course, because that's going to be a new thing. Trump's third term. Okay? We're heading into the future. We're heading into the future of a Trump third term. And it's going to be glorious and amazing. An expanded SALT deduction. In addition to paying federal taxes, residents of many states must also pay state and local taxes, SALT. Prior to 2017, they could deduct these payments on their federal returns, but the tax law Trump signed that year capped these deductions at $10,000. You may be salty, but you cannot deduct it anymore. An amount taxpayers in states with high SALT burdens, such as New York, New Jersey, and California, often exceed. House Republicans who represent districts in those states spend weeks demanding the big beautiful bill increase that limit, and succeeded. The bill passed by the House raised the deduction to $40,000 per year. I wonder what the SALT burdens are in the best state in the United States, Maryland. Money for mass deportations and a border wall. Uh-oh. What? It's part of Trump's... This is like a messy big bill that is just about everything, isn't it? Like, this bill is just about everything. A part of Trump's plan to remove undocumented immigrants from the country, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, will receive $45 billion for detention facilities. Oh my God. Yeah, why give money to Ukraine that could save lives, okay, and help end the war faster, when you can just give money to ICE to make people's lives miserable? Amazing. I love it. I love the idea of giving more money to institutions that make people's lives horrible and unbearable. $14 billion for deportation operations and billions of dollars more to hire an additional 10,000 new agents by 2029. Like, all I'm hearing is, let's make people's lives horrible. Also, a lot of streamers have been giving instructions on how to deal with ICE agents, because this whole situation is getting out of hand. With people being grabbed off the street and, I don't know, treated like trash. Grab can. True. More than $50 billion is allocated for the construction of the new border fortifications, which will probably include a wall along the border with Mexico, and immigrants hoping to claim asylum or otherwise seek relief through immigration courts will face a host of new fees that advocates so many keep them out of the country altogether. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Also, courts? I didn't know that was still a thing in the US. I think due process was on the way out. What do you mean immigration courts? Not for us. See? This is gonna be an expense cut. Immigration courts, there's not gonna be courts. Don't worry, we're all gonna die one day, according to that to that one Republican senator. Yeah, I might as well destroy the world before going out with a bang, right? You're right. Amazing. Jesus Christ Almighty. Deportation. Immigration, I'm gonna say that refugee crisis is like a... I still remember when I attended that conference about the lessons of the Holocaust being wasted in the Pauline Museum, and a big presentation was about immigration, about refugee crises around the world, about how things are getting worse. That was years ago, by the way. About how people are being dehumanized on the border or in the no man's lands. How we are basically entering a period, and again, that was years ago, that we have entered a state of proto-genocide when it comes to the immigration and refugee situation, that all the mechanisms for a genocide are in place, everything is actually quite ready, and all it would take is for someone to just get the ball rolling and we would have a massive genocide of our hands of immigrants and refugee seekers. So yeah, that's some food for thought, because already the dehumanization and deaths are happening, but just one little step further and we would have a full-blown genocide on our hands. So yeah. Oh my gosh, cause a famine by cutting agricultural research, that's cool. A much higher budget deficit. All these tax breaks and other spending come with a major cost. Congress's nonpartisan fiscal scorekeeper, the Congressional Budget Office (CBO), estimates the bill's tax policies alone will add nearly $3.8 trillion to the federal deficit. Wow. Too bad. A potentially potent restriction on federal courts. Oh my god, really? Well, of course there has to be a restriction on federal courts that are trying to stop Trump from doing all the crazy things that he's doing. Oh, the courts are trying to stop me. The courts are not ruling in my favor. Well, I guess I'll have to restrict the courts. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Trump's supporters routinely attack judges who rule against them, and the bill includes a provision that prohibits federal courts from enforcing contempt citations related to temporary restraining orders or preliminary injunctions. At least one federal judge appears ready to issue such a citation in a high-profile immigration case involving the administration. Erwin Chemerinsky, the dean of the University of California, Berkeley School of Law, wrote that judges could get around the provision for future cases, but hundreds of existing court cases covering all sorts of subjects, including the many lawsuits against Trump's policies, would become unenforceable. Oh, there are lawsuits against me? Well, I guess I'll just render them useless through my big, beautiful bill. The courts are realizing that soon they won't need them anymore. Transform social safety net programs. I just wonder if transformed means gutted or actually transformed. Republicans have attempted to cut down, of course, so gutted. Republicans have attempted to cut down on the bill's cost by slashing two major federal safety net programs: Medicaid, which provides healthcare to poor and disabled Americans, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. SNAP apparently is, I've heard so many good things about SNAP. Is that the thing that caused child hunger, I think, to just be cut in half in the United States? Was that it? Was that SNAP? Can somebody confirm or deny? Was that the thing that contributed to the child food thing? Or was it something else? Just starve. Who cares? Just starve. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which helps people afford groceries. Well, too bad. No more groceries for you. Both are in for funding cuts, as well as new work requirements. The Urban Institute think tank believes, based on an analysis of similar policy, those could remove as many as 5.2 million people from Medicaid, while the left-leaning Center on budget and policy priorities, forecasts about a quarter of SNAP recipients could leave the program of nearly 11 million people. Well, who needs food? Food is overrated, isn't it? Do you need food? I don't have any food right now, and I'm not complaining. More benefits for the rich than the poor. Wow, really? Under Trump, the rich are benefiting more than the poor. I'm so shocked. I thought that Trump was the everyday guy person. I thought he was for the poor, the champion of the poor. Wealthier taxpayers appear set to receive more benefits from this bill than poorer ones. Taxpayers with the highest incomes will see their household resources increase by 4% in 2027 and 2% in 2033, largely due to the extended tax cuts. The CBO estimated earlier this week the poorest taxpayers would see their resources drop by 4% in 2033, largely due to the downsized benefit programs, according to the office. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Let's make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Standard affair. What a beautiful bill. Trump is for the poor. Those poor millionaires who have to deal with broke people opinions on their timeline. True. That is true. I mean, those poor people's existence. The end of Biden's green energy initiatives. Oh yeah, incentives. Let's just destroy the planet, okay? Let's make the rich richer and destroy the planet while we're at it. The end of Biden's green energy incentives. Oh my god. I love it. The bill will phase out tax incentives created by Congress during Joe Biden's presidency, meant to encourage consumers and businesses to use electric cars and other clean energy technology. Oh, now we're getting into the bit that Elon Musk got into a beef with Trump over. The electric cars thing. Okay, now I can see why Elon Musk hates this bill. Stop complaining and dig the coal, you whelp. Everyone wants to claim they are the champions of the poor. True. At least Trump delivers, okay? My goodness. We have reached the part of this bill that is actually the object of this divorce, okay? We've got it. The difference between politicians in America is just how they want you to believe that their glazing of the rich is actually on behalf of the poor. True. True. That is true. Credits for cleaner cars will end this year, and incentives for wind and solar energy will only be available for projects that begin construction 60 days after the bill's enactment and enter service by 2028. Clean energy manufacturing tax credits will be axed by 2031, while Americans seeking to upgrade their homes to cleaner or more energy efficient applicants will get no further subsidy after the end of this year. That is really, really bad, by the way. The trying to go for cleaner energy will get no subsidy. By the way, this house that I'm in right now, and I know this is Poland, and I'm talking about a US big beautiful bill, but my father sort of applied for a grant, and because my father applied for a grant, this house has solar panels and one other type of panels. And this is why when it's warm, when the weather is warm, during summertime, etc., I use the solar panels to get the heating for my water. Is that why the power goes out? No. It doesn't work like that in Poland. Like when you have solar panels that create electricity, you don't use that electricity for yourself. You sell it. You sell it to the electricity providers. And that energy is being sort of sent to them and it's redistributed in the grid, in the whole system. That's how it works. You don't produce energy to use for yourself. But that's one type of panel. That's, takes energy and redistributes it into the system. And you get money for it, sort of. And the second type is that you get heat from the sun, and that heat, for example, just warms up your water. You get warm water from the solar panels, and that is what I'm doing during summertime. I don't use gas for heating up water, etc. I use the power of the sun to be able to have a warm bath. Thermal panels, yes. I have those at the top of this house. Probably because those credits were what was Tesla main source of income. Well, you know what? We're gonna be talking about that as well. Once we end talking about the bill itself, we're gonna get into the beef between Elon Musk and Trump. Why do they be hating on wind wheels? Because Trump hates this planet and wants it to die. Okay? Like many right-wing politicians, Trump is no exception and has a bizarre hatred for saving our planet from imminent death. Which, unfortunate, but, what are you gonna do? Trump behaving like Shinra Corporation from FF7. I know. Okay. An increased debt ceiling. The US government's authority to borrow, known as the debt limit, will increase by $4 trillion. Earlier this month, the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent predicted the government would hit the limit by August, at which point it could default on its debt and spark a financial crisis. So that's it, okay? That is the beautiful bill. We could be talking about the good and the bad and the ugly of this bill, but instead we're going to focus on something else, okay? We're gonna focus on our mommy or daddy, depending on what you prefer. We're gonna Reuters, my favorite page. Okay, shoot me, Reuters. Give me your Reuters. Oh, okay. Let me see the video. Musk calls Trump's tax cut and spending bill a disgusting abomination. Wow. Really salty ever since he stopped being the shadow president, as they called him for a while.
Elon Musk has waded into the debate over Donald Trump's sweeping tax and spending bill, and it seems he's not on the president's side.
Uh-oh.
Posting on X, Musk said he couldn't stand it anymore and had to speak up. He said, quote, "This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination."
Okay, we're gonna turn this off.
Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. Musk said the bill...
You know it. Musk is the mommy, yes. Oh my gosh. We have been elevated at a low possibility of a debt crisis happening, i.e., like what's happened to Greece.
It would massively increase the U.S. budget deficit and leave citizens crushed by unsustainable public debts. The House of Representatives last month passed unsustainable deficit and leave citizens crushed by unsustainable public debts. The House of Representatives last month passed the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill by one vote. Now the Senate aims to pass it over the next month, though it's expected to revise the House version. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office has estimated the measure could add $3.8 trillion to federal debts, which already exceed $36 trillion.
Wait, didn't Trump say that the debt was bad and the debt was all Biden's fault and that he would reduce it? I think I remember Trump saying something like that. My memory might be a bit woozy on that, but I remember something like that. Neither party in this divorce has any parentally coded characteristics. Wait, are you saying my daddy and my mommy aren't good parents? Obsessive forge. Why? Why would you say that? That doesn't really matter as long as you can make the interest payments. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that Trump said it was bad under Biden, but it's okay under him.
White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt says Musk's opinions were no surprise.
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
What does that even mean? I mean, we all know why Elon Musk is mad. He's mad because he doesn't get his car thing anymore.
House Speaker Mike Johnson was also dismissive, saying, "My friend Elon is terribly wrong."
My friend.
But some Republican fiscal hawks have called for changes to the bill to limit debt increases. Musk's intervention also adds to signs that he is trying to distance himself from Trump. The billionaire had previously been close to the president, playing a key role in efforts to cut government spending. But he recently stepped down from his role in the so-called Department of Government Efficiency and announced he would refocus on his businesses. Investors have been concerned that his closeness to Trump was alienating customers at his car firm Tesla.
I don't think it was the closeness to Trump itself. I think the crazy things he did as himself in Dodge were also a part of it, of the Tesla stock plummeting.
Where sales have slumped in some markets.
Some markets, Europe. Let me see. I can't stand it anymore. Musk's comments hit a nerve. Republican deficit hawks have expressed concern about the cost of the bill, which would extend the 2017 tax cuts that were Trump's main legislative accomplishments, while boosting spending on the military and border security. The House of Representatives passed it by one vote. Marjorie Taylor Greene's vote. This is a divorce between Harley Quinn and the Joker, disagreeing on how best to torment their neighbors' kids. I mean, the Harley Quinn and the Joker were a very romantic couple, so I don't know. They were a very cute couple. Oh my god. Where is it? The House of Representatives by one vote last month after the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said the measure would add $3.8 trillion to the federal government's $36.2 trillion in debt. Which Joker are we talking about though? The animated series. The Senate, also controlled by Trump's Republicans, aims to pass the One Big Beautiful Bill Act in the next month, though. Senators are expected to revise the House version. How about this? Being a divorce between the entities from the Magnus Protocol and the inhabitants of Innsmouth. Wow. Oh, Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he disagreed with Musk's assessment about the cost of the bill and stood by the goal of passage by July 4th. We have a job to do. The American people elected us to do. We have an agenda that everybody campaign on, most notably the President of the United States, and we're going to deliver on that agenda, and South Dakota lawmaker told reporters. Oh, test of influence. Okay. Musk's loud opposition to the bill that Trump has urged Republicans to pass presents a test of his political influence a week after leaving his formal role in the administration as a special government employee with the Department of Government Efficiency came to an end. As DOJ chief, he upended several federal agencies, but ultimately failed to deliver the massive savings he had sought. No duh. The richest person in the world, Musk, had spent nearly $300 million to back Trump's presidential campaign and other Republicans in the last year's elections, but he also said he would cut his political spending substantially while returning to his role as Tesla's CEO, which I have something interesting on that actually. Where is it? Because I believe he has mentioned this. Okay? Oh, there you go. I found it. I found it. Where is it? Got it. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. There you go. So yes. Without me, all this crap would have fallen down. Such an ingrate Donald Trump is. The White House dismissed Tuesday's attack just as Trump dismissed earlier Musk complaints about the legislation. Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood, blah blah blah. We already heard that in the video. There's a Republican disagreement. I wanna check something real quick before we continue. Because that might be funny as well in its own right. Oh, there you go. Okay. This is an aside, but I found it very, very funny. Okay? Why are MAGA people, Trump adjacent people so very stupid? I mean, I guess the answer just sort of, I don't know. I find this tremendously funny. Musk once said in an interview that the Democrats might arrest him 10 years down the line for what he did to win the election. I know. He did that in this whole funny little talk. Alright. Where should we go? The Marjorie Taylor Greene criticized for not reading Trump's big beautiful bill because she's an idiot, okay? She's one of the stupidest people that I know of. God damn. The Jewish space laser lady. And I think she peddled the conspiracy theory about Ukrainian biolabs that targeted the Russian DNA and a few other conspiracies around the war in Ukraine. Republican extremist says she would have voted against tax and spending bill if she knew about AI language. Like, this is the most... Okay. Do you know what the difference between the Polish lunatic politician is and the US lunatic politician? It's... The Polish lunatic politician is really crazy, like Grzegorz Braun. Okay, Grzegorz Braun is really crazy, really extreme, does really weird things, but is also quite shrewd when it comes to politics itself, if that makes sense. A lot of these crazy lunatic people that are in Polish politics, on the one hand are crazy, but are also quite shrewd politicians that sort of know how to navigate stuff and to get what they want. Like Manson, for example, sort of got a lot of what he wanted from this presidential race at the end of the day. But majority, like, I'm pretty sure they don't do stuff like, oh, I'm gonna vote for this bill, but I'm not really gonna read it. This is embarrassing. Republican firebrand Marjorie Taylor Greene has drawn widespread criticism from Democratic colleagues for admitting that not only did she not read Donald Trump's tax and spending bill before voting for it, but she would have voted against it had she read it truly. Oh my god. This is beyond parody, I'm afraid. Greene revealed she was unaware of the provision in Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill that would prevent states from regulating artificial intelligence systems for a decade. The Georgia representative said she would have voted against the entire bill if she had known about the AI language buried on pages 278 and 279. Those people are so stupid. Full transparency, everybody. I did not know about this section on pages 278, 279 of the OBBB that strips states of the right to make laws on regulate AI for 10 years. Greene wrote on X. Full transparency, I'm an idiot that does not read about the things that I vote for or vote on. She could even just have aides read it for her. True. But that's not her style. I don't get how she can still hold office somehow. But well, you know, it's politics. Whenever I look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, I can only think about the Dina Fritz Titan from AOT. Damn. Democratic lawmakers who all voted against the bill responded with incredulity to Greene's admission. You have one job, to read the fucking bill, Representative Eric Swalwell wrote in response. Brilliant. Oh my god. This whole thing is so bizarrely amusing to me. You have one job, to read the fucking bill. Representative Ted Lieu said he had read the AI provision beforehand, and that's one reason I voted no on the GOP's big ugly bill, he posted on X. Pro tip, it's helpful to read stuff before voting on it. Oh my goodness. Representative Mark Pocan was more forward. Read the fucking bill instead of clapping for it like a performing monkey. You should have done your job while it was written. You didn't. You own that vote. Oh my god. Oh. Full disclosure, you guys. I actually did not read any of it. I don't give a fuck. Oh. The AI provision was added just 2 nights before the bill's markup. It would prohibit state and local governments from pursuing any law or regulation regarding artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems for 10 years unless the purpose is to facilitate deployment of such systems. The language applies broadly to facial recognition systems, generative AI, and automated decision-making tools used in hiring, housing, and public benefits. Several states have already passed laws creating safeguards around such systems, which could become unenforceable if the bill passes the Senate. Beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful bill. This is actually a good first step for the US to adopt the social credit score system, just like China. It also raises questions about the curious case of Republicans not reading sprawling legislation about provisions in the bill. Oh. Representative Mike Flood of Nebraska was booed by voters at a heated town hall last week when he admitted that a provision restricting federal judges' ability to enforce contempt orders was unknown to him when he voted for the same bill. I am not going to hide the truth. This provision was unknown to me when I voted for the bill, Flood told the audience, prompting shouts from constituents who responded, "You voted for all of it." But Green and Flood aren't the only unexpected sources to now disapprove of aspects of Trump's big beautiful bill. The world's richest man and Trump ally Elon Musk called the legislation a disgusting abomination on X Tuesday afternoon. Yes, this is our main thing, the divorce. We are focusing on the divorce. Don't let your mind stray. We might have gone to a little bit of a side, like a detour, to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, because that will never stop being amusing to me, but it doesn't change the fact that our main star of tonight is Elon Musk and his him losing his stuff on the electric cars. It's sad because mommy and daddy are fighting and I am caught in the middle of it. I'm caught in between my beloved parents fighting. Your life? Look at this. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Okay, then why did he put Elon Musk in charge of Dodge and try to save money by guiding the government? Why didn't he do this from the start? But Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. Oh. Truth Social crashed due to the amount of traffic. I love it. They were so... Listen, who knows? Maybe there'll be a whole civil war in America over the parents fighting, okay? People who are pro Elon Musk will be in one camp, and people who are pro Donald Trump will be in the other camp, and they will all duke it out using their guns. But look, there's more, okay? Let me see, on X. Hold on, I need sound for this beautiful statement from our beautiful, beautiful man. Look at this.
He's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even...
No, it's X, like the X-Man, okay? They're not called the Twitter man or the Bird man. They're called the X-Man, okay? It's not called Twitter. It's called the X. X. Listen, don't insult my mommy's ideas, okay? For social media. Yeah. And you wonder why I bully you. Wow, okay.
He's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't."
I have no clue. What does the black eye refer to? I have no clue what that whole black eye thing is supposed to refer to. Was he punched or something?
I think so, which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best thing. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it. He's
He had a black eye during an Oval Office press thing, his last interview in the... What happened? What happened to him? Was he beaten up or something? So all that happened, you know? There was Elon... There was one last thing, okay? One last thing that I'm pretty sure was said. I have to find it. No one knows what happened to him. He got into a fight. There's one more thing that sort of ties it all together in a beautiful, beautiful bow, okay? Where is it? Where's the... Does anybody have the screenshot of that thing? The bomb that Elon Musk has dropped. Does anybody have it? There was always going to be an unstoppable force meets an immovable object fueled by ego. Let me check. The bomb. Oh my god! Bam! Radosław Sikorski got his revenge. Oh my god. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna show this on the stream. I'm gonna show this on stream first. I don't want to post spoilers. Okay, I'm gonna send this to... Wow. Oh my god. And I like the Alex Jones response. But let's go to a Polish politician, okay? Oh my god. I guess Radosław Sikorski, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, sort of one-upped Elon Musk in the end. Look at this. Oh my god. This is funny. Be quiet, small man. You pay a tiny fraction of the cost. Radosław Sikorski. See, big man, politics is harder than you thought. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Brilliant. This is just brilliant. See, big man, politics is harder than you thought. Oh my god. But there's an even funnier bit. Because I guess things escalated, as they do when two toddlers get into a fight on social media. When two little toddlers get into a fist fight, things escalate and hurtful arguments are being thrown around. And one such hurtful argument was thrown by Elon Musk, and an innocent bystander was deeply shocked and appalled by it. Look at this. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Alex Jones. God help us all. Like, what do I even say to this? How do I even react to this insanity, to this clown show? This feels like something that would be in a comedy sketch show, right? It feels like something from a satire, but it's real politics. In a number one powerful country in the world, some of the most influential and rich people in the world. Yeah. This is happening now. I bet Elon actually cried. Oh yeah. Jeez, what the hell? This is insane. So this is where we are. This is where we are with all of this. It all started because after Elon Musk left Doge, he was robbed of his electric car privileges, I guess.